Marvin, it's always tough after a defeat, but what's the thoughts after that today?
I have to be careful. My thoughts are kind of all over the place. Kind of what I saw. Listen, fantastic. Jay gets the first goal. We go 1-0 up. 90 seconds later, we can see the penalty. And the ball's in the back of the net, and it's 1-1. We come in at half time. We talk at half time. We can see the second goal. 3 minutes into the second half, and then we can see the third goal. And I've just said to the players in there, in anything that you do in life, if you don't have a desire to do the basic things well, and to track your man back rather than letting them have a free header and not jumping out the way of a shot and letting the ball hit you rather than jumping out the way, letting somebody chop back and put the ball in the back of the net. That for me isn't about football. That's a willingness to do things to the best of your ability, and that's not a tactical thing. That's a desire of an individual, and they got punished for those two things today, and I feel for them. I do feel for them, but I'm the manager, and the buck has to stop with me because I select the players. I put the team out there, I make the substitutions, so that has to be on me, and I have to look at that and look at myself.
The last couple of weeks, it's been kind of lack of concentration and things, but today it just didn't seem to get started at all.
No, I don't think. I think the first 10 minutes. You knew that there was going to be a storm. They were going to go long. We were trying to get the ball down the sides of them. I think they passed the ball for a small spell of time. We then get the goal, something that we've spoken about. But yeah, just there has to be a bravery to doing things. When you're not playing well, maybe as an individual, you have to be a little bit more brave and work a little bit harder. And as I said, when you don't work as hard as you possibly can and you lose games of football, that for me is something that's very, very difficult to understand. Because as I said to the players in there, I give absolutely everything, every single day. All the time that the staff put into things to make things to the best of our ability, and just need to work hard. Just need to work hard at times and roll your sleeves up and work hard, and we didn't. And I said that's a reflection of me because I'm the manager, not on any individual. And we got punished for again not tracking somebody back and then jumping out the way of a shot.
You're taking it hard tonight again.
Oh, of course.
So obviously you're saying there it's your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got in your mind about how to change it, or?
Well, as again, speaking off emotion, obviously I've been the players for however long just now, so I've always take defeats hard. I win games of football and 15 minutes later I'm thinking of the next game. That's management. That's just the way it is. So I do take it hard. It's one of them that we have to do better, and we clearly can do better. But right now, that's 4 league defeats in a row, and that should never ever happen. I'm well aware that should never ever happen, and I'm the manager, and that's happened under my watch, and that's probably why it hurts so much. And I need to apologise to the travelling fans today because that isn't a reflection of us as a group. That isn't. And it's hard. It's hard, Sandra, to take and accept that. We can all accept defeat. We don't always want to accept defeat. Hamilton, the Falkirk, there was positives to take out of that. Today, just felt like we just wanted to just turn up and somebody else would do it. It can't happen. It really, really can't happen. And it's the same messages, and we're speaking about the same things. And if individuals don't take that on board, you're better off just going with 14 players, and it's hard. That they're my players, and I need to protect them. We need to grow and we need to learn very, very quickly, Sandra.
You talked here as well about the goals that you lost today, and there isn't a good time to lose a goal, but losing goals at terrible times, isn't it? It's like, the penalty just after you scored, goal just straight after half time, and then a goal.
It's the manner though, it's the manner. The timing, obviously, the timing to see goals is never perfect, but it's the manner of the goals. That's the thing, if somebody opens you up and then does whatever, like Hamilton did for their first goal the other day, but it's the manner of the goals. Not tracking back, not wanting to block a shot, like that's not that timing, that's just not wanting to do the basic things, not to block a shot. You're a professional footballer. How can you not want to block a shot? How can you not want to track your man back 3 minutes into the second half? Professional footballer, a full-time professional footballer. So that's desire. And it's a harsh lesson. It is for the individuals. and they're young players, and we need to learn from it. You know, and I need to help them learn from it, because I'm the job. That's my job as a manager, is to help them learn from it. But you know, you kind of find yourself saying the same things, you know, over and over again. And sometimes, because it's not the individual or the same individual, they maybe don't take it on board. But when we're doing analysis on a Monday, it's not about the individual, it's about everybody learning who could be in that position and learning from those mistakes. And that's probably something that we're just not doing.
You've had them in there, as you say, for a lengthy period of time, and just going over things. You know, do you feel that they're taking it on board? Yeah,
I do. Listen, they're not a bad group, not for 1 second. They are not a bad group of professional footballers. They really aren't. And I've been around dressing rooms when you do have bad individuals, and they're not that. They're not that. Maybe slightly naive at times, you know, but they're not a bad group. So yeah, they are taking it on board. But that talking there and that length of period we are in there, that's because I'm the manager, and that's on me. You know, what they are producing out there is on me. I'm their manager, so that's not. You know, nothing should be aimed towards the players. You know, aim it towards me, because, as I said, I choose what they do in training. I choose how we set up for matches. I choose who plays. I choose who's substituted on, who's substituted off. So that's upon me. But yeah, like, you know, some home truths needed to be told, and I wanted answers to certain things, because, you know, we spoke about what was the game plan, and then what did we do, and why did we do that. So yeah, you know, there was a lengthy talk in there, even with the injured players as well, but it was needed.
Say there about the injured players, you get some back today, but lose Josh Todd and Lee Connolly? Yeah,
lose Josh Todd, lose Lee Connolly, lose Kieran. You know, it's just the list. I don't know if it has 8 injured players. It's tough. It's tough when you've got that amount of players injured. You know, I think you start the game with the oldest player being 23. You know, so yeah, you know, injuries are tough at this moment in time. But, you know, that still doesn't mean that you can't block a shot. It still doesn't mean that you can't track your person back. You know, and as I said, you know, injuries are injuries, and it's not a time for excuses. But, yeah, as I said, you know, we lost Lee, and we went to warm up at half-time and felt his hamstring, so he couldn't go on. Lost Josh Todd. He tried to come back to training yesterday. He was unable to do so. Gavin Riley was the same. He's unable to do so. We lost Regan for the season. You know, so it is where we're at this moment in time, and it's tough.
Regan's out for the season?
Yeah, Regan will have an operation. So, you know, not only are we losing players, we're losing people for a long period of time now, which is horrendous. You know, it's horrendous, but all we can do is be there to support him kind of through the process, you know, and stick together.
These injuries obviously a lot worse than you thought?
Yeah, it is. You know, the scan results came back, and it's not, you know, it's not great. So yeah, you know, we'll deal with that.
And sorry, it's a fourth defeat, as you say, in a row. You know, how important is it for morale that, you know, you try and lift them and get going again? Yeah, but you lift through hard work, just going out there and giving everything. I said in the last 2 defeats that we've had, they've done that, but it's clearly a mindset thing to think that you're coming into a part-time team and you can just kind of do what you want. You don't have to do the hard yards. And, you know, a lot of these boys are part-time because they earn more money being part-time, working and playing football part-time. That's just the way football is. So it's not, you know, down to their ability, you know. So there has to be a desire and to do things correctly and to the best of your ability. And I just felt, you know, we can see 2, maybe even the first goal. You know, talking about the line and Marsha telling them to get up. We don't deal with the first ball. We don't deal with the second ball. And is there just a kind of naivety that somebody else is going to do it? So yeah, listen, we need to kick on. We really, really do need to kick on. I said the same thing last week. So I don't want to, you know, sound like a broken record, but, you know, things need to improve very quick. Well, next weekend against Stirling's the end of the first quarter, so you really need to kick on from there. Yeah, exactly. You know, as we say, even when you win games, that's gone, and you are where you are. So we are where we are now in terms of the season. We've got a home game coming up next, and yeah, we need to put performance on, and we need to win that game of football. And you know, when you do lose 4 games in a row, you put your pressure on yourself to make sure you're winning the next one, and that's where we're at now. So, you know, we'll find out where we are mentally, in terms of now dealing with pressure, because there will be it's just the way it is, and I'll shield them as much as I possibly can from that. But they're putting pressure on themselves in there, to be honest. You know,
a few of the players stood up and had something to say in there, and they are quite a quiet group, but you know, they gave each other kind of their thoughts on what the hell's going on. So no, fair play to the ones who stood up and fair play to the ones who listened. But you know, now it's time for action. So talk is cheap.